What is good, defenders? And welcome to One More Sleep. It's the night before a match, so you know what time it is. It's time for One More Sleep. And the boys are back together for tonight. It is so nice to be back with you. You know my voice. It's the Scarf, J.R. Liebert. And I know y'all haven't forgot his voice, but allow himself to introduce himself. One Christian Philly Philemon.
Happy Friday to the millions
and millions
of Defenders of the Bank listeners back on One More Sleep. And it has felt like a while since I last hopped on this episode. And how appropriate, considering this is going to be one about my hometown club, NYCFC. Now, for those unaware, yes, I'm from New York, not Philadelphia. Philly is a play on my last name, Filament, not as a reference to where I'm from. That being said, other than high school, which was spent in Germany, other than college, which was spent at Indiana University, most of my life has been spent living in New York City. Queens, born and raised, but most of my adult life in Manhattan. And I'll freely admit that I was not a big MLS fan growing up, nowhere close to what I am now. In fact, I didn't get into this league, Scarf, until a trip to Yankee Stadium in 2015 to watch NYCFC in their inaugural season. Like many of you growing up in LA, I've heard the story how the Galaxy never spoke to you. Well, neither did the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars or the New Jersey Energy Drinks, although they did practice in Queens, and the homie Sean Awashko knows this. They weren't an allure. New stadium, Thierry Henry, competitive teams, but it wasn't for me. Then NYCFC comes around for a season. I went to the games. And then after that season ended, a couple of short months later, Panda and I are living in LA. We put down our deposit. And as you know, the rest is history. Had it not been for NYCFC, might have been no deposit to LAFC. Then perhaps none of these amazing memories, the relationships, the broadcast, defenders. This is an interesting link in the chain of events that is me and you now, Scarf. None of this would have been the case had it not been for the 2015 NYCFC season. I was happy that they won the MLS Cup, and what a game in Portland that was, but that's it. This is where it ends. I don't follow them. I don't care anymore. And as far as tomorrow is concerned, F them. Let's poop all over these filthy flipping pigeons.
Break out the card one more time. Break it out. Break it out. Where is it? There it is. There it is. I just like to make Philly do this. It's literally been 10 years now, Philly. The start of this season, 2025, you in 2015. We do like to give you a hard time because, of course, you did rep NYCFC for a season. But yes, if anybody bleeds, if anybody bleeds black and gold, it would be one Christian Philly Philemon. You know us, guys. We've been here from the start. The Podfathers, obviously, heart of LAFC, and then came along, us. So yeah, that's how
you
we like.
Did you enjoy calm? I guess I just have to ask. I know I am anything but calm.
I think
they're just erratic at best.
They're just making observations. That's all. I'm excited too because one of my favorite reasons to go to BMO Stadium will be in the house tomorrow night. Mariachi Las Catrinas are going to be performing tomorrow night as part of Women's Empowerment Night. So that's going to be kind of fun. Philly, the Angel City FC. They're going to have a couple players as the honorary Falconers, Madison Hammond and Katie Zalem. It's going to be a cool night there for Women's Empower Night.
I love that. Maybe Angel City can get themselves a flipping coach.
Yeah. Listen, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast, but not nearly as long as it's been since we have played NYCFC. 2018, 2-2 draw at home. 2019, 2-2 draw on the road. And 2021, a 2-1 loss at BMO Stadium. What that means, Philly, this is one of only 2 MLS clubs that LAFC has never beaten. Do you know the other club, perchance?
That we've never beaten?
We've only played them twice, but we've never beaten them.
Well, technically, we did beat NYCFC in a friendly, and we have played them 5 times historically, but I know friendlies don't count. A team that we have not beaten.
We've only played them twice.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, well, we've never beaten San Diego. I thought you were going to try to stump me with that one.
Yeah, no, not them. That's not fair yet. We haven't played them yet.
Give me a hint at the very least.
I mean, I'll give it to you with this: the Fighting Kellen Acostas.
Chicago Fire?
Yeah, Chicago Fire, the only other team LAFC has never beaten that we have played in MLS. But Chris Lafferty knew. See, look, there's Lafferty. There he is.
Yo, you mentioned this. You want to go down a trip to memory lane, Scarf? This could be the fourth time that we played them, but 2021, that's when we were in Solvang for Nina's birthday. If you remember that, we were playing a little bit of hooky, which we never do. And then do you remember when we were in the Solvang village? Of all people we bump into by the bars, one, Max Bretos. We had such a laugh when that all occurred. Three people that practically live at the bank were in Solvang out drinking during that game. And oh, by the way, the last thing I'm going to mention about that, do you recall how that game ended, Scar?
In 2019?
2021.
Or 2021, yeah. How about a 90th minute goal from the future LAFC player, Izzy Tajuri Shradi?
That would be correct, yes.
Yeah, that was rough. Look, we've been able to break out some of the big names, though. In 2018, Carlos Vela scored. In 2019, Carlos Vela had 2. And your boy, a player who I can say is your boy, and you won't push back against me, Alexander Mitrizu scored against us. And I know you're a fan of Mitrizu. And look, Corey Baird actually scored for us in this quote-unquote rivalry of 3 matches that we've played. So it's been all over the map. Sebastian Ibiaga scored for us while he wasn't even playing for us for NYCFC. So there's been a lot going on in this rivalry with only 3 games. And look, Philly, it's been a weird.
There's no rivalry.
Yeah, it's not a rivalry. Well, MLS would love for it to be a rivalry, right? New York City.
MLS would have loved for that to have been a cup final.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Look. It's been a tumultuous offseason for NYCFC as well. James Sands, as you know, Philly, because you've probably covered him a couple of times. James Sands over at St. Pauli now. There's star Tyus Magno at Corinthians on loan. Teenager Christian McFarland went to that Manchester City. And Jovan Mijatovic for Belgium. Thiago Andrade selected by San Diego. I mean, and by the way, they just sold their best player to Botafogo, Santi Rodriguez. It has been all kinds of topsy-turvy, but they did re-sign, 94-year-old Maxi Morales in the midfield? So
what an assist, by the way, against Miami. But you mentioned, look, they still have some solid players. They spent a badunkel amount of money on players last year. And look, they've got a good front office. They've obviously had solid scouting. But
Wait, what was that? How much did they spend? A what?
A badunkel amount of money.
Got it. Go on.
All right, stop. Thought you were trying to stump me again. I know the chemistry might be a bit off because we haven't been around together for a while. But anyway, look, they've got players, man. They got a good front office. They've got good scouting. They've had an excellent academy. And look at some of the players they sent to Europe, man. I think of Jack Harrison, who's now on loan to Everton from Leeds United. He started out at NYCFC. You look at Angelino, who plays at AS Rome. I think he had a goal just earlier this week. He started out there. You mentioned Christian McFarland. Fantastic. But then some of the other talent that's run through NYCFC. Tati Castellanos, one of my favorite players ever in Major League Soccer. He heads on over. Now he's playing at Lazio, which is still NYCFC's biggest sell. But this kid, Santi Rodriguez, from what I'm hearing, roughly around 17 million is what they've sold them for. So they have, obviously, they're powered by Saudi oil money and a little bit from the New York Yankees, which is still ironic to me that they're going to be playing in Queens next to Citi Field. But this is a team that, can be pretty good. And Pascal Jansen, in his first year, that's where the question marks lie. I mean, he had a year's coaching in Hungary. Prior to that, in the Eredivisie. So, look, this might be an interesting battle. He gave Miami a run for their money.
Yeah, look, he's a solid coach, right? He's coached in Champions League qualifiers and Europa League matches. And you mentioned it over at AZ Alkmaar, who, relatively decent club there over in Netherlands. So, yeah.
No. Alkmaar is not in the Netherlands. They're in Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. Thank you. Belgium. Yeah. Is it Belgium? Yeah, Belgium. And he's also coached in Hungary.
No, hold on. No, you're right. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Netherlands. It's in Netherlands. And he coached in Hungary as well. He's a good coach. It's going to be interesting. He coaches an attacking style. which I think they really, really like. And look, they needed every bit of it, right? Against Miami. Miami went down 10 men at the 23-minute mark and still was able to score a heartbreaker in the 100th minute of the match, 10 minutes into stoppage time. That was brutal. But Mitja Elenic and Alonso Martinez, who I think we might hear a little bit more about.
That's where I'm Belgium from. All right, keep it. All right, we'll talk later.
Sorry. Look, this was a team that was solid last season. 14 wins, 8 draws for 50 points out of their 37 matches. They did get 4 wins and 5 draws on the road. But it's a team, Philly, I think that you and I both agree is kind of looking for their consistent goal scorer and firepower coming in.
Yeah, look, yes. I'm glad you brought up the road record. 4 wins, 8 losses, 5 ties last season. And let's also not forget that on Saturday, it's going to be the second game in 8 days. Obviously not dissimilar to what we got going on. But it'll be an interesting matchup. You said it. Jansen's the kind of guy who likes to go on the attack. We'll save a lot of that, though, for our keys to the game and all that other jazz. But somebody else who is formerly an LAFC player, by the way, is going to be making his return. You know who that is?
Actually, there's 2, right? There's 2.
Well, there's Tomas Romero, who's backing up Matt Freese, the goalkeeper. Who's the second one?
Backing up Tomas Romero from the MLS keeper pool that we signed. How about Greg Ranjitsingh? Come on, baby.
Oh, geez. Yeah, how could I forget about good old Greg?
You want to hear one quick funny story? I have a match-worn jersey of Ranjitsingh's from the Kick Childhood Cancer game from like 2021. It's got the ribbon on it for Kick Childhood Cancer.
Yeah, I get that, but where did you find it is the better question.
It was like $70. Nobody else bid on it.
Oh, okay, got it. You know, if you actually go to I think it's Fanatics, you could still find yourself a Kenneth Vermeer signed autographed jersey at an absurd price. I would never spend several $100s for a Kenneth Vermeer signed anything that has to do with his time in the U.S. His time playing for the Dutch, sure, but his time in the U.S.,
Yeah, I don't know. I think they thought it was a misprint when they sold the Ranjitsingh jersey, but I've got one, so there's that. All right, Philly, what do you say we get into it, my friend? It's been a little while for us. Let's get into our players to watch.
See if I remember how to do this.
Well, I mean, you want me to do it or you want to do it?
You handle the screens. I'll just talk. I'll be the serious minister. I'll just drink and know things.
Here we go. Yeah. So I've got the old guy who I already made fun of.
Oh, this is the grandpappy list. This is the where you're going for your senior citizens discount.
Yes,
Olivier Giroud, Maxi Morel. Look, I love Maxi. 38 years old, he got himself a dime, but you seriously have the grandpappy list of players to watch. You normally will bring in like the younger players coming off the bench. You truly are going old man, Scarf.
Listen, let me tell you why I'm doing it. First of all, you got to be able to find Maxi Morales out there on the pitch. He's listed at like 5'3". There's no way in hell Maxi Morales is 5'3". But what he has done in about 225 matches for NYCFC, he has absolutely dished and dimed over the course of his NYCFC career. I believe he's up to 106 goal contributions, including 68 assists in an NYCFC shirt. So he is the player who I think if he can get free and get in space, I mean, he goes back to the David Villa days when he was dishing it off to the former Spanish superstar. Maxi Morales only needs to be as good once as he ever was instead of being as good all season. And I think he's going to turn it up against us for sure. I really do think Maxi Morales can be a problem, but I think he's going to run into number 6, Igor Jesus, and it's going to be an interesting matchup between the really young kid and the old veteran in Maxi Morales. And I'm going to keep putting Olivier Giroud as my player to watch. It's the meme with the stick. Do something. I'm waiting for Olivier. And I think we might even be in for some interesting developments tomorrow. Who knows? But here's what I'm saying. If you're going to bring in Olivier and you're going to talk about how he scored twice in the offseason, and you're going to put him in all the different advertising materials on social media, at some point, he needs more than 17 or 18 touches over 70 minutes, and most of those, to use a basketball term, are with his back to the basket. He needs to get aggressive. They need to find him somewhere. And you know what? I'm tired of hearing that, oh, he's not getting good service. Square peg, meet round hole. I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like the Olivier Giroud experiment is working. And he's got to figure out a way. He's the world-class player. We just had a player in Kai Kamara who went his entire career in Major League Soccer with MLS service. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, he just needs a perfect guy to cross it in. Antoine Griezmann or Cengiz Ünder or Denis Bouanga. Stop. He needs to figure out a way to be relevant out on the pitch, even when he's not getting the best service. Be aggressive, stay the heck on side, or you know what? Stay over in the 18 and let Jeremy Ebobisse, David Martinez, and Nathan Ordaz, who all look excellent so far this season, take the torch as the number 9 and the wingers to watch. Those are my 2 players to watch.
Ünder is coming, folks. You spoke to members that are big parts of the club, and he's coming. And probably not going to be tomorrow, but he'll be there. Don't you worry. Obviously, a lot's going to be banking on this guy. So just want to throw that out there right away. You talk about the meme with the stick. I'm thinking more like the meme for Olivier Giroud, Yoda with the walking stick in Attack of the Clones after he gets done fighting Count Dooku. That's what I think. But anyway, as far as my players to go, they have about 10 years less in terms of age on Scarves players. Now, starting with NYCFC, I'm going to go with Alonso Martinez. And not just because of the fact that he scored recently against Miami. I'm going to go with the fact that he also is playing at a different level because he recently signed an extension. Here's where I got my wires crossed with Belgium. Kid was the solid scorer in Belgium's first division, which, yes, I get it. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean a lot. Sorry to all the Belgian listeners out there, but I get it. If it's not Anderlecht or Brugge, who cares? But last year, he did have 16 goals and 3 assists in 26 appearances. The kid can ball, man, so he's going to be a dangerous option for NYCFC. And for LAFC, Scarf likes to pick the diamonds in the rough, but I'm going to go with somebody not so obvious. Denis Bouanga. Then we get going with some offense. He's chomping at the bit, and that was displayed against the Rapids as recently as, Tuesday, because he decided to take on the entire Rapids team himself versus passing over to open teammates. But I'm going to say that he's at least good for 1 goal tomorrow. It'll be a fun battle between Denis and Alonso. That's who I'm going with.
Well, for my key to the match, let me piggyback on Philly. We got to get Denis going, folks. I think over the last couple of matches, we have seen not once but twice 2 unselfish Denis. We need selfish Denis to get back to BMO. And what do I mean by that? I think what we all saw is he tried to feed Olivier Giroud on a ball where, by the way, you should have probably fed Olivier Giroud. But Olivier, because Dane St. Clair, I think it was Dane St. Clair, right, made a fantastic play, came all the way out, and was able to cut off the angle on Olivier. He couldn't get anything going. And I think we saw him maybe a little too unselfish a couple of other times as well. I think it's time for Denis to absolutely get going in this match. I think that this is going to be the match that jumpstarts Denis. I think their back line is one that you can run at and cause some trouble. I think that it is going to be a good match for Denis Bouanga as long as we can get Denis going. He did not have nearly enough touches on the ball in our last match, the one against Colorado, and we need to figure out a way to get Denis the ball in a little bit of space. We know that second defender is going to come over and try to take the ball off of his foot, but it's up to guys like Jeremy Ebobisse and David Martinez and Nathan Ordaz and whoever else to try and get him that second ball, get it right back to Denis, whether it's a give and go, whether it's a cross, whatever it might be. And I think the other big key is maybe getting Denis away from doing some of these corner kicks and set pieces that take him out of the action. We've got to figure out a way to get Denis going.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. Something that I really wanted to ask Steve in the press conference. And if I don't remember this next time around, please remind me why, or better yet, in case he's not there, who else would Steve be confident in taking those corner kicks or taking those set pieces if Denis is not available? I'd be very curious what Steve's response is. Just remind me to ask him that in the press conference tomorrow.
Philly, next press conference. Don't forget to ask Steve.
Listen, man, you like to say I'm getting old all the time and make fun of me. I'm not going to remember. Remind me tomorrow when it matters.
Here comes
too much
Philly.
Going on in here. Too many basketball stats and indoor soccer stats. And starting Wednesday, calling a baseball game against the University of Michigan. So now I got baseball and whips and on base plus slugging. I got so many numbers rattling around in my head.
Not only that, you get to see one of my kids that I had at my school for a little bit. You get to see shortstop or second baseman. It's going to be great.
Well, remind me of who that is. And
I will when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So is that your only key? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So absorb and counter, man. So in the game against Miami held a vast majority of possession, had the much crisper passes. But we know Pascal Jansen, and you mentioned it earlier, a guy who likes to go on the attack, likes to create some havoc and some pressure in order to regain possession. They're going to try to limit the touches on Denis, but he's a guy that likes to go in as in a 4-3-3 or possibly a 4-2-3-1. So if that's the case and he wants to attack, as we've seen in the past, LAFC will more than likely just sit back there and absorb that pressure and then look to punish them on the counter. I do not think NYCFC has the defenders that can stop Denis when he's off to the races. So let them come at us with everything, the pigeons and the kitchen sink. We absorb everything that we possibly can, and we counter and we punish. We freeze, Matt Freeze, on the attack, and Denis will get a goal off of a counter coming off of just what I'm saying. Absorbing, countering, attacking, scoring. Boom.
Yeah, you know what else has been missing this year so far, Philly? That long ball that worked several times last year. From Ugo to Denis, it's been all Ugo. It's been terrible service so far from Ugo on some of those long balls. Now, granted, he was half frozen in Colorado, but it's just been something that's been missing. So I absolutely agree.
How many saves he's made per game, Scarf? Hardly any. He's been bored. He's been cold the vast majority of the season. I liken it. I've mentioned this reference in the past. Julie the Cat Gaffney in Mighty Ducks 2, as they're playing the Trinidad team, she's just batting her goalie stick on the crossbars. I am bored. I am bored. I am very bored. That's been Ugo, so you can't expect for him to quickly, on a dime, just that way. He's not a spring chicken.
Unfortunately, I think he's going to be pretty bored tomorrow as well. I've got it at 2-0 LAFC. And I'm putting the save count for Ugo tomorrow. I'll put it at 5, but I don't think there's going to be anything. There's going to be one. There'll be one that Ugo has to make that'll tax him a little bit. But I'm putting the number at 5. Although, from what I understand, and I think someone already mentioned it in the chat, is it true, right? No Aaron Long tomorrow for LAFC?
The media guide, which actually should be getting updated here, has nobody on the injured list. So Steve said it was precautionary when they took him out in the first half in that last game against Colorado. But he's not listed as of yet on any injury report, not anything the club's put out, not anything MLS has updated.
Okay, so hopefully we'll still have Aaron Long. I mean, these guys, Aaron Long and Ryan Hollingshead, and it'll be interesting if they roll out Palencia, even though I know there's the investigation going. We'll talk about Sergi at the end of this as well. But our back line has been our biggest strength this season. Marlon and Eddie Segura, that two-headed monster. If they've got to both play together, I don't know if I'm as confident in our back line just because I love the way that Aaron Long has been playing. But yeah, that mystery tightness lower than his thigh, right, Ruben Rios? All right, so I've got 2-0, and Philly has
Yeah, 1-0. I'm surprised that you're even going with 2. Look, the body of work isn't there for me to believe that this is going to be a high-scoring team. I think we talked about it on the last pod. We've been very sound defensively, but until proven otherwise, or at least until Denis really starts scoring, we're going to be a team that's going to be sound defensively, and we're going to grind out results. Low-scoring games is what I am envisioning for the time being. That being said, we alluded to this earlier. I wanted to bring it up during my score prediction. But without that many changes to a team that went 4-8-5 away from home, of course, NYCFC is who we're talking about, I don't envision them coming into our home and beating us. That goes without saying, but I don't also envision a lot of goals being scored. I got Denis on 1. We beat them 1-0.
Yeah, and look, we know they're going to try to play a little faster than they've played before, but you're absolutely right. I mean, come on. The names that we're talking about that are no longer on this club that help offensively, names like Tyus Magno and Santi Rodriguez and James Sands, I mean, those are big names for them. Even Thiago Andrade, who got picked up by San Diego, he's just another guy who helps propel their offense forward. It's not like they don't have players who can score, but on your score sheet, when you circle 1, I think that you really can eliminate their best player and kind of go from there. That's why I think a guy like Maxi Morales is so dangerous, just because he'll find that little space if he can catch some of the young kids napping. Philly, we saw Artem Smolyakov make the 18 last match. We might see him again. He's another player on the back line who could get a little bit of burn in this match. And that's why I think if we can get out to a 2-0 scoreline, maybe in that 75th or 80th minute, we can sub a Ryan Hollingshead, a Sergi Palencia, and Aaron Long, some of those guys that could use a little bit of rest. I think it could be a good thing. Philly, I know you and I wanted to touch real quick too on the alleged controversy investigation regarding Sergi Palencia.
All right, look, I heard this from a very reliable source. What we think Sergi Palencia said is it's not even a bad thing what Sergi Palencia said. I can't repeat what it was, but I can guarantee you that it was not racist, nor was it homophobic. But I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. It's something that we've all uttered in moments of frustration in competitive endeavors. So if we all are right now out there questioning whether or not Palencia is racist or homophobic, take that out of your cerebellums immediately, because that's not the case. And I have it on good authority from a very reliable source based on what I was told, what he said. It was something that was far blown out of proportion by Colorado. And after I heard what it was, I had my jaw drop as well. We'll see if CONCACAF likes to CONCACAF, which means, again, we won't hear about these results until 2027. But I can assure you, Sergi Palencia did not say anything racist or homophobic that led to that discussion and that controversy that occurred at BMO Stadium. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, and I think we will get an answer regarding CONCACAF before that match against Columbus Crew. I think it would make the most sense.
I would put Hello Kitty on that panel, and she would come up with a result far quicker than anybody from CONCACAF. Right, Hello Kitty?
Yes, Philly. CONCACAF is very imbecilic in a lot of ways. You can tell by their selection of officials simply. Just go back and watch the tape and you will see how bad the officials are. And that, even though no, that's not what I'm saying. That is the microcosm of CONCACAF at the end of the day. Imbeciles and buffoons across the board.
I do want to mention one more thing. I want to see some more of Yaya Boa and Nkosi Tafari. Yeah. I absolutely love those two players. I think they are more than depth pieces, though unfortunately at the start of our season, we've been using them predominantly as depth pieces. Who knows? Maybe Yaya Boa takes up some minutes that might have originally gone to a player like Olivier Giroud at some point. Maybe we got to move some things around, change up the attack. But I just remember the speed of Yaya Boa in that MLS Cup final as he ran past and behind Ryan Hollingshead for that first goal. I know Ryan doesn't want me to bring it up, but you know what? It happened. It was part of our history. And now we've got the guy on our side. So you know what? Like they said in Spaceballs, smoke him if you got him. Let's go. We've got Yaya Boa. Let's make it happen.
Where they come in the desert where they go, we ain't found. Sorry. Anyway.
Chris Laverty says it never happened, but we were there. It happened. It was cold. It rained. It happened. I was there. So I've got 2-0 because I think we're going to get Denis Bouanga going. Philly's got 1-0, even though he says we're going to get Denis Bouanga going. I think the thread line between the two of us, Philly, is that we think Denis Bouanga is going to get going tomorrow night.
Yes, I would agree. And you know what else is going to get going? Tailgates, baby. Fan Fest, 3:30. So that should be a good time. So for those of you who come out with your tents, you know what that means? Smush. And what I mean by smush is that when they do these fan fests, the space we all get on Christmas Tree Lane gets smaller and smaller and smaller. By the next fan fest, we're going to be calling it Happy Trail Lane because of the amount of space or lack thereof that we get. But by the way, are we doing a tent?
Yeah, I'll be there in the morning.
Okay, I have work to do, so at least you're going to be there. And these are things we have to talk about. But
come by the Defenders tent. Come hang out with me. I think it might just be me for a while. So yeah, come hang out over at the Defenders tent. Maybe I'll have a sticker and we'll sell a scarf or two. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll be there. It'll be fun. There'll be an igloo. It'll have some fluid in it.
Oh no, keep talking.
Oh, I'm supposed to keep talking. Why?
Yeah. I just want to try something out real quick. Just keep talking.
Oh, so I'm gonna keep talking because Philly's gonna try something. This is
hang on. Oh, yeah, there we go. We talk about how we want to sell some stuff. Well, we got a website, a very cool one called defendersofthebank.com. And if you go to the shop, there's all kinds of cool Defenders swag on here. My personal favorite, where is it? No, it's not there. It's the Phila Monster Studios t-shirt done by way of Dexter, which has the Universal. Yeah, I think that's it.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, technology, I'm starting to figure this thing out. That's a pretty snazzy shirt, folks. And if you DM the Defenders account personally, either myself or Scarf will DM you with a clearance code where you could get any of these cool items or multiple items for a much cheaper price.
No, I don't check my DMs. Check this. Defenders20. Put in the code Defenders20. If it doesn't work, then you can shoot me a DM. But it'll be Defenders20. Put it in there. You'll get 20% off your purchase. There you go.
Yeah. And we got stuff for women. We got stuff for men. We got stuff for the babies. We got stuff for the babies. How sweet is that? Gotta
cool one. It's
pretty kids.
I love it. It looks like Supreme, people. Come on. We did a lot of fun. All right. Either way, and by the way, Dexter and I, we've got our heads together. We're going to have some more merch coming out in a little bit. We will this season. I'm announcing it right now in front of Philly.
Oh, boy. Don't hold your breath. I'm just kidding.
We will this season have a Philly 316 shirt for all of you guys. That's
probably the easiest shirt to make.
Well, I mean, but we want to get the font right. We want it to look like Stone Cold. We want it to look good. So,
oh my God. Anybody if I see anybody, and I'm this is my promise to you. If this shirt does come out and I see anybody wearing it at BMO Stadium, I am buying you a shot and a beer. Happy, courtesy of me. Gonna do it. Scarf, you don't count. Actually, you wear a Philly 316 t-shirt. Yeah. You know what? I'll do the same for a Scarf Tradamus, but that's my promise, Defenders. Once this Philly 316 t-shirt comes out, if you have it and you find me, a shot and a beer on me. And by the way, LAFC Vet says a jersey too. We had one that courtesy of our good buddy Gustavo. Yeah, we should get on that too. That would be pretty dope.
We will do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, then I will buy you a shot and a beer at every game, my man.
Lachero will live in that if he can get a free shot and a beer from you. All right, look, it's been 34 minutes. We're off the rails. That's because we missed each other so much. I've got 2-0. Philly's got 1-0. Philly will be there at some point. Hello Kitty's also there. Great. Love it. So happy that Hello Kitty's there. Yeah, Isis, we'll be set up right next to the Mardi Gras tent. For all of you guys who consume us over on Instagram, on Facebook, on LAFC Wolf, hell yeah. For all of you guys that get to us in whatever fashion that you do, thank you so much. We love you here at Defenders. Come on out to the tailgate tomorrow. We will see you. We will be there. And you know how we like to end all these things.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.